2020's two geeks from across social media formed an alliance to bring you geek news from across the Nostalgiaverse. They are Jacob's Toys and SuperSorrell. So strap yourselves in for the weekly live show that brings you toy news, TV and movie reviews, special guests, opinions, tangents, and bad impressions. Reveals, releases, thoughts, and maybe dreams. So prepare yourselves for the Geek Week in Review. Live.
Hello. Welcome to the Geek Week with me, Jacob's Toys, and of course, wonderful one and only SuperSorrell. This is episode 145 of the Geek Week, and man, have we got lots to talk about tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It has been a busy week. If you're watching us live, please do join in with the comments. We're going out across a handful of different places, so it doesn't matter where you're watching, jump in, comment along. We'll do our best to sort of stay on top of the comments and get the comments up on the screen and stuff. If you're watching us on repeat, if you're watching us on catch up, what's the hashtag they need to use, Mr. SuperSorrell?
Hashtag catch up crew.
Hashtag catch up crew. Yes, that's about it. And obviously, of course, in the description of the videos is all the links to the various other social media platforms that we like to put stuff on. Oh, how's your week been, SuperSorrell?
Fun, interesting. Opened a lot of toys.
Yeah, I noticed that. I did see on your on your channel lots of things being open. I must admit, I got to jump in really quick as well. I did like your Lord of the Rings action figure photography.
Yeah.
On location.
I went to Pontefract Castle with a bunch of figures in my backpack, and it was so fun. It was there's loads of places. I've even got a location set up now because there's some rocks that are like overlapping and like some that are further in. So I'm gonna use some actual green cloth to make it look like Sam and Frodo are asleep, and I'm gonna put Gollum just with a bit of blue tack, just as if he's coming down the rock, just to kind of steady him. Awesome. So yeah, I'm going to take that as a shot this week. I saw this little location. I'm like, that is so for that. I need to get Gollum on there.
I do like it when like people go out and do like action figure photography like on location. Like I think it's really cool to be able to kind of look at something huge and kind of scale it right down and go, you know what, that part of it is going to work perfectly. I did one in Wales actually when we were over in Wales, and I don't think I've even posted it anywhere, but there was this huge like cave, and I kind of went into it and I found this tiny little bit of a cave. I put Iron Man Mark 1 in, and I was like, when I stepped back and looked at it, I was like, this is such a huge like rock face. I'm literally using like this much of it, but yeah, it's good fun. It is good fun. So yeah, open lots of toys. There's been lots going on with television. There's been a few things going on with the movies. There's obviously been lots going on with toys.
Did you get any pickups this week?
One thing came through.
Yeah.
Where is it? One thing. I put it in my box behind me. I've not even opened it. It's not anything exciting. Lots of people have got it already. But
yeah, Sabertooth.
Initial inspection, like looking at it, a little bit disappointed that he's got pinned legs. It's just kind of like at this kind of day and age when the technology's out there, it just feels a little bit lazy. But overall, it looks like a really nice figure, and the size of it's cool. And I must admit, I'm really surprised how cool the Wolverine is as well. I got rid of a lot of Wolverine figures recently, like a lot of Wolverine figures. So it's quite cool to have a civilian Wolverine, especially after X-Men 97 kind of coming out. Like I'm enjoying the civilian clothed characters. What about yourself?
Yeah, you got a couple of things that I have to just show this great big box off. Let's say big box, medium box. Yeah. So I got sent this box from the people at Stumble Guys this week.
What? No way.
So yeah, Stumble Guys got in contact, PMI Toys, and they said, "Can we send you a box of Stumble Guys?" Because I posted a couple of things on Instagram that I was playing it, and they sent me a thing saying, "Would I like some of the toys?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm going to unbox. I'm going to put that as a short on my channel tomorrow. So this is just a bit of a tease that I've got this box, and I'm going to open it tomorrow as a short on my channel. So stay tuned.
Are they blind bag figures? Or are they like card?
Oh, there's a mix of things in there. There's a bit like when I got the what do they call it? Pinata Smashlings. There's plushies, there's mystery bags, there's figures, there's a good mix in there.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So yeah, and I saw this in the comic book store, and I'm not sure if anyone remembers this from back in the day, but I got really excited when I saw it. Do you remember Emily the Strange?
Yeah.
So like back in the day, she was like on all the Gothic girls' clothing, like Hot Topic and Blue Banana, or sorry, Blue Banana Republic it's called, and like all those kind of shops. She was like the icon for a while, and she was also on skateboards and stuff like back in the early 2000s and 90s. So yeah, Emily Strange, I couldn't resist. It was just such a weird little figure to find. I'm like, I have to own this.
Is it a new figure or an old?
Yeah, it's a new toy. It's brand new for this year. It's only just come out. It was imported by Heo.com and it came out 2023. So it's relatively new. It's the first time I've ever seen it, put it that way.
I'm not surprised though, with all the kind of hype of Wednesday and the kind of Gothic.
Yeah.
Like it's a easy cash in. Do you know what I
I
mean?
noticed that HMV recently, because they've got their like I don't know what you would call it. They're trying to have a Gothic section, aren't they? They sort of have the Five Nights at Freddy's, the horror stuff. Then they have like the Wiccan candles and crap and you know all that kind of stuff. And they had Emily the Strange hats, beanies, and hoodies on display. So I think Emily the Strange is making a comeback at the minute.
Oh, okay, fair play.
But the thing that I know some of the people in the chat are excited for me to open this week, I've now got 4 of them because I can't resist. I got the Star Wars Doorables inside the mini Death Star.
Oh, nice. Have you not opened any of them yet?
Nope. Wow. I'm gonna save them. I'm gonna open all 4 together on a video this week. I'm gonna make a big video and I'm gonna open all 4 together. There's 4 in each one, so I should stand a good chance at getting something different. So
yeah, that's cool.
I
didn't know they were out yet.
Yeah, they've just literally launched. So they're just showing up in Smith's. Smith's are sods though, because they do this thing where they have their online thing to check if something's in stock. But like Sheffield was showing that these things weren't even in stock yet. But yeah, I went to the store and they were all on display. So someone's put them out when they shouldn't have been, but they scanned through the till. So I'm like, not mine.
Yeah, happy
straight
days.
in my basket.
Well, I know that we've spoken about them quite a bit, haven't we, on the show, like over the previous week. So yeah, that's cool. I'd be interested to see how collectible the kind of figures are, because Star Wars, it's a big deal. Like I can see those making their way onto quite a few people's shelves.
If you want to go full 90s, hang on.
What's he got? We spun round. We can't see.
And we've got to sing the song. If we looked into each other's eyes.
Oh wow!
The Goofy movie. And yes, the reason for buying it, Powerline.
Wow. Just such a an iconic tune. It's like an anthem. It is like an anthem. What really cracks me up with that as well is when you get like the full-grown men like in costume doing the dance at Disney or something like that. Like it's brilliant. It's like that's awesome.
Yeah, it's because of Disney Plus. Apparently, obviously the film bombed when it came out originally. It was meant to be a Disney Channel movie, and then it went out to cinemas and stuff, and it just bombed.
Oh,
but yeah, but then it's like over the years, because of Disney Plus as well, it's kind of found a new audience and a new life a bit.
Yeah,
there's loads of merch out for it now.
Loads of movies do that though, don't they? Like loads of them that that they aren't that great at the time, but. I'll tell you what movie I did finally get around to seeing while we're talking about movies. 2 movies that I saw this week. Ghostbusters, hence the hoodie today. We can talk about as well. And Barbie. I finally got around to watching Barbie.
Barbie! I love that movie.
I didn't.
Oh,
I really didn't. I watched it all, but it just
not even the I'm just Ken.
Yeah, see that bit I really enjoyed. I thought that was really cool, and there were some very funny like jokes in it. Like I think my favorite bit was Will Ferrell when he goes, "Call me mother." that was my favorite bit. But there was a lot of it that was kind of like not lost on me, but I don't think it hit me in the right places. If that makes sense. Yeah,
the bit my favorite. My favourite joke in the whole thing is where the narrator comes on and says that they're trying to make you feel sorry for but they've hired Margot Robbie and she's the prettiest woman alive.
Yeah, that was
one of the best jokes in the whole film.
But it came onto Sky Cinema, so obviously it launched on Sky Cinema. So we were like, yeah, that's fine. We'll sit down and watch it tonight. So me and my wife watched it. And I don't know whether my expectations were just so high, but yeah, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, that kind of wasn't what I was expecting at all. But yeah, since being on Sky Cinema, it's been on our telly maybe about 4 or 5 times. And my daughter's watched it, my wife's watched it. Like, I was like, okay, cool. But Ghostbusters, let's talk Ghostbusters for a second, because obviously when we discussed it last week, I hadn't seen it, and now I have. And you know what? The critics can do one, because I thought it was incredible. I really did. I thought it was spot on for a Ghostbusters, a Ghostbusters film. Yeah. Hang on 2 secs. Look, we've got Andy. Andy's in the chat. He's watching us on Facebook, and he said he's not ignoring anyone. He just can't load up the chat on YouTube. Barbie was dreadful. So I'll tell you what, Andy, we'll keep an eye out for your comments, and we'll ping them up so people can follow along. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed Ghostbusters. I thought it was spot on for a Ghostbusters film. Make sense?
How are you feeling about them including supernatural humans in it now? So like there's bits like I get there's ghosts and they're from other realms or whatever, and I kind of get that, the whole multiverse theory and all that kind of stuff. But when they start including like the fire starter or whatever they were called, the fire bringer, and he can move fire with his hand, and
yeah,
that was the only bit that I was like, oh, I don't like that, but it is what it is, isn't it? But
yeah,
that was the bit that I was kind of like, oh, I don't like that, but
yeah, that bit for me, I'm with you on that opinion. That was the only bit that I was kind of like, okay, but I saw it as very contained, if that makes sense. Like it was there for that story. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like we're gonna have loads of random sort of supernaturally kind of people.
Yeah.
I just thought, you know what, that's for that story, and maybe we're not going to see that again. But no, I mean, as a whole, I loved seeing Slimer again, and I think that the inclusion of Slimer was just enough. Like they did Slimer in the way that they need to do Slimer, like because in the previous movies he was just there for a minute. You know what I mean? He wasn't a big character, was he? So
no.
They
never explained. They never explained how he got out the containment unit. They've not explained that though, have they? He's just there.
No, but see, in my own little kind of headcanon, I was kind of like, you know what? On the real Ghostbusters, he lived at the firehouse.
Yeah,
anyway.
He did.
So the
fact including that as canon.
Yeah. So
okay.
The fact that he was living up in the loft, kind of thing, I was like, you know what? This all kind of makes sense. I really loved the fact that like the family are kind of taking it over and that they're kind of continuing with it. I loved the expanded kind of universe of Ghostbusters. I thought that was really cool, and it just felt like a very natural progression. You know, if one of the original Ghostbusters has that money, then of course they're going to kind of expand. You know, I think one of my only real criticisms was that Bill Murray felt like Bill Murray was in it just the right amount that they could afford to have him in it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It's a shame he wasn't in it more, like the way that Dan Aykroyd was, for example. He was very much a character in the film, wasn't he? Whereas Bill Murray just kind of turned up. He was like and did a little bit here and there and then left.
I do feel like that's because of Bill Murray, though. I don't think he wants a massive involvement in this anymore. Whereas I think Zedmore, Winston still loves being a part. Winston still loves being a part of this, and so does like Ray. I think they're the two actors that still hang on to the legacy of Ghostbusters. Where I think Bill Murray's kind of like, I think it was a job to him, and he's moved on now. I don't think he's got that same attachment to Ghostbusters that the other two have.
No. Well, obviously, for Dan Aykroyd, it's kind of like his baby.
His big film with
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it, and I liked Janine was kind of there, and it was just what I kind of wish people kind of took was, we saw Janine suit up for no other reason than just for us to see Janine suit up. That was it. Like it was kind of like, it's cool to see her in a suit. And I was messing around with the Playmobil figures that my boys got and that, because we play them all the time. And we've got Janine suited up in Playmobil. Like we've had her suited up for ages. And I was like, oh, there we go. Yeah. Just quickly, let's just jump on because I know there's a couple of comments here. Andy's saying the bit about the projection didn't bother me that much, as there was an episode of Real Ghostbusters where they went to the spirit world. As Ash said, it was contained well. Yep. And that Ernie Hudson has sold his soul to the devil because there's no one on Earth. He's 79. I know the man looks incredible. Yeah, looks absolutely incredible.
Do you think they missed an opportunity though, where where the bit where Phoebe's been told to stay behind, the phone rings and she answers it, and then goes off and does the ghosty bit with podcast?
Yeah.
Do you not think they missed an opportunity to have her say Janine's line from the original Ghostbusters film? Ghostbusters, what do you want? There was a bit where she could have literally, she was in that pissed off mood anyway. They could have just easily just had her say it. You know what I mean? Ghostbusters, what do you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have just, I think that would have been just a bit of fan service. I know it's so little, but I just think there was a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Mick has asked if we can have an episode about Jacob's beautiful grey beard. You know what? It's getting more and more grey. I actually cut it quite short this week just because it was like, this beard is getting seriously grey. But thanks very much. We'll do a special. We'll do a Geek.
I'm sitting farther away and I've got all black on, so you can't tell, but mine is greying more and more as the days go on.
We'll do a...
My mustache is completely grey now. My mustache has gone completely grey now.
We'll do a Geek Plus where we get as many like YouTubers, Instagrammers with grey facial hair as possible. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I liked seeing the original cast kind of doing what they were doing. I like the progression of the newer cast. And I think one of the biggest criticisms that I've read online is about the kind of relationship between Phoebe and the spirit.
Yeah.
But I was kind of expecting more because I read that as a criticism. I was kind of like, oh, okay, it was limited to that, but there was a point to it. Do you know what I mean? There was a point to that. If there wasn't that whole scene where she kind of went out of her body and all that kind of stuff, and the big bad, I can't remember the name of the ghost, but if it wasn't for them having to do that, it was all a setup the whole way along, and it kind of felt like just enough to explain that plot point.
Well, yeah, and the fact that, I hate the internet for this kind of stuff. Move on, we're in the 2010s for God's sake, 2020s for God's sake. Yeah, I think it felt natural the way they did it. It didn't feel like it was an agenda. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like they were trying to make Phoebe gay or anything for the sake of it. You know what I mean? The progression of the story between them felt natural.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at like the Beauty and the Beast movie, the live action one, and you look at that, for God's sake, Josh Gad playing Gaston's fancy piece, and that was forced. That was incredibly forced for agenda. Whereas this felt like it fit the story and it fit Phoebe's character. It all felt natural.
But you know what? I didn't even watch it as a romantic relationship. It was kind of I saw it very much almost like a rebellious thing, as in like you know what, she's being pushed out by the family. She's been kind of benched. She's been treated like a kid, but yet she's, got this incredible IQ and all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of like, you know what, this is the direction I'm going in, because I don't think if she hadn't been benched, I don't think she would have humored any kind of relationship with a ghost from the beginning. Do you know what I mean? It would have been, well, that's my job, But I don't know. I just felt like it was a good way of her being the downfall with it making sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved all the little like nods to the like the library ghost and all those kind of things, like the manager of the library telling Ray that he was banned and all that kind of stuff. I loved it. I just thought it was brilliant. Thank you very much, Andy Hyde. How do you know this? How do you remember this stuff?
Oh, Garaka with his horns. From once you came, you shall remain till we are complete again.
Mick has made a good point. Supernatural humans have been in it since day dot, because that was Peter Venkman's field in supernatural research. Yep, okay, fair enough. We'll give you that one.
No, as in, I get there's like clairvoyancy and mediumship, and because that all fits in with the ghosty stuff. But I mean, I'm talking like that guy was basically pyro. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at. It was almost muted, like mutated kind of thing. That was where I was like, but I get it. It's what it is. Like I say, it didn't bother me enough that it wound me up. That was one of the criticism that I had. But what do you think of my theory now that you've seen it?
The
Do you remember my theory?
Film.
So that there's going to be a third film, and that I reckon they introduced that whole thing of the being able to pull a spirit out of an object. Yeah. That to me says that Winston's got an idea to take the ghosts out of things. Therefore, I think they're going to put the big painting of Vigo in there and try and rip Vigo out of the painting to contain him. And something's going to go wrong. And then he'll go for the...
it right as well, that there was one point when they were in that ghost corpse play, ghost corpse or whatever. Yeah, and in the background, one of the people had the slime guns. I'm sure they did. Like it was, there was.
Oh, the slime guns. Yeah, there was a slime gun. Yeah.
They walked past, and in the background, in like
you got slimed.
They're using the pink guns that they used in the second film. I'm sure they were.
More or less. Oh, so some form of goo gun or slime gun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. Look, Mick said Slimer got out in Ghostbusters 1. At the end, remember the hot dog cart, and you don't see him catch it. They don't see them catch him again.
Oh, it's been such a long time since I've sat and watched Ghostbusters 1.
You know what? I'd completely kind of forgot that was a thing. Yeah, you're right.
And I think I've not seen Ghostbusters 2 since I was about 15, 16. It's not one of them films that I watch all the time.
I wanted to rewatch it after we discussed it last week, and I was trying. I know I've got it on DVD up in the loft, but I was kind of like, I don't want to go up in the loft and get it. I want to find it somewhere. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and just to approach one of the other criticisms that I saw online. So one of the biggest kind of discussion points, shall we say, was people saying that they should have done less kind of story stuff and more ghost busting and seeing them like hunting all the different ghosts and all the rest of it. But I totally disagree. I completely disagree. I think there was just the right level of busting ghosts, because again, in the original films, it isn't all zap, zap, zap. Like they would get called out, they'd do a job, that would lead on to one thing, then there'd be a load of story arc and conversation, and then there would be something else. And I think that, I think that they did just enough, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. Same with because I know there were like I say the talk about the whole, there's not enough ghosty bit, but you see so many cameos from so many different ghosts in this film. The whole opening segment is them busting a ghost, for God's sake. You know what I mean? I think it was just the right amount, and we needed the story more than them just zapping random ghosts for the sake of it.
Yeah,
you need a story. I think this was the perfect build up to the big bad. Admittedly, I think the big bad could have had more to do at the end, but they could have spanned that one out into 2 films, I think, quite easily.
They could have, but then again, I think that's one of the mistakes a lot of films make, is that kind of to introduce this thing and then drag it out. It was all contained. It was very much like, here's the threat level. Well, actually, the brass and all the rest of it, this is what is going to beat him. And guess what? We were able to do it. And, I think if I was to add anything in, I would like to have seen a little bit of tragedy. So maybe Janine or Venkman or someone like that.
One of them gets murdered.
Actually dies or actually gets like seriously injured. Just something to kind of make it all a little bit. But then at the same token, I'm a massive fan of the real Ghostbusters. I grew up watching the cartoon. I loved the movies as a kid. And they were almost immortal. Do you know what I mean? Like they were kind of invincible in that respect. So yeah, I just thought it was a good Ghostbuster film. I really do. I think it just, okay, Answer the Call didn't go down particularly well. But the rest of them, they're all very similar. They're a bit tongue-in-cheek. They're classed as a comedy. Do you know what I mean? That's the funny thing. You go on Ghostbusters 1 on Sky Cinema or Netflix or whatever it is that whatever streaming site, it's listed as a comedy. It's not listed as an adult horror or anything like that. It's a family comedy film. So yeah, I loved it. And I'm just annoyed that we haven't had any Plasma series figures for it now.
Yeah, we'll get on to that later though, because we've got something coming.
The original, if they were to do, if they were to do Plasma series figures, what would they actually do? Like the original 3, even older, the new characters a little bit older, like if you're really desperate for a Paul Rudd, you could use one of your Ant-Man heads and put him on a suit. You know what I mean? It's doable.
To be fair, I think Hasbro dodged a bullet, because if they'd have gone by the original trailer, I think all the figures would have been in red Parkers, and they didn't.
Yeah.
They barely feature in the movie, if at all. So I mean,
yeah. First time they've not released a figure that's kind of like missed the mark in that respect. So
yeah.
But there we go. But yeah, that was kind of it for the movies. But we have got loads to talk about. So let's just quickly, Mick said, I didn't see it as a romantic thing either. Jacob, it sounds like she's seen it.
No, for me, I was just on about that. For me, it was the build up of the whole like the wanting to be on the same plane of existence for even just 2 minutes. That felt a little bit like the relationship was progressing, and
I get that. I do get that.
That's how I read it anyway.
Me watching it the way I did, it didn't quite make sense. I was like, why do you want to be a ghost for 2 minutes? That's weird. Like, but yeah, it was good. But let's move on. We've got quite a bit.
Yeah. Should we stick with entertainment stuff and jump into X-Men 97?
Andy said he was almost mutated. Ash just dropped a segue into X-Men 97. Yes, let's talk X-Men 97. What an episode.
Yeah, and Marvel Legends obviously dropped the Goblin, what's she called?
Madeline Pryor.
What I'm saying, Madeline Pryor figure, and they dropped her all covered up, but yet in the program she's completely like she is in the comics. They didn't cover her up. Like, I was expecting to see her looking like the figure in kind of a watered down version of her costume, but they went all out.
No, Triple G in the comments, love this episode.
It was a great episode.
That was my first comment. That was going to be my first comment, that they did not like water her down at all, did they? They gave her the full kind of Madeline Pryor treatment, which was really cool. And
we know why Bishop was there now.
Yep, that's why Bishop was back. It was like it's all, but it all makes sense. It all makes sense. And yeah, that's why Bishop was stuck there, because then he could take the baby with him. I really enjoyed it though. I just thought it was a very entertaining, good X-Men episode. Like there's not a huge amount to...
I was expecting them to keep her as a villain though for the most of the series. I know we're definitely going on for a Mr. Sinister kind of showdown, but I did expect them to keep her under his control a little bit longer than that. It was just the one episode and done. So I hope they do keep her as a reoccurring character in it. I hope she's not just written out now.
I wonder if we're going to see Cable.
That'll be cool.
Whether he's going to come back from the future. The thing is it's very in line with how X-Men was, like the original animated series. And apart from the odd kind of two-parters, the stories were wrapped up within one episode. And that's a very 90s thing to do with kind of television and shows and stuff like that. You've got a beginning, a middle, and an end. And yeah, I just think that it was kind of like, you know what? I was quite happy with that. It's the same. We had that Executioner character that again we got a figure of, kind of wrapped up in an episode. Don't necessarily need to see them again. We had Madeline Pryor, Goblin Queen, as you say, wrapped up in an episode. But you mentioned the toys and obviously the Marvel Legends figures. Mr. Sinister is a figure that we've not had as part of the X-Men 97 card back yet.
Yeah.
But yet Nightcrawler is. We've had Nightcrawler on that X-Men 97 card back and we've not seen him yet.
Yep.
So, and we've seen a lot of characters, haven't we? Like they've shown us more characters because of Morph than we have previously. Triple G in the comments say, love seeing my favorite character, Magic, get some love.
Yeah.
Really cool to see Magic in the animated series, which is something I didn't see happening in X-Men 97.
I just wish it was the real her, not just Morph. You know what I mean? I wish they would introduce these characters properly, like bring Psylocke in, and you know what I mean, like bring these cool characters into it.
That is the only kind of,
even if it's just a self-contained story, like you say, a one and done. Have Magic show up with Colossus. You know, it's his sister, and just have them show up together. in an episode and have a self-contained little story, whether jumping through gates of hell or whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, there's so much they could do with it.
I wonder whether that's what's going to be with Nightcrawler.
Mm.
Whether that's going to be, he's going to be like a self-contained story, and that's why we're getting a figure of him.
Essentially,
I don't know. But yeah, overall, I just thought it was a very good episode. It was a very good episode. Mr. Sinister felt a lot more sinister in this one than I think I remembered him being in the original series.
Well, the fact that he just stole a baby and shoved it in a cryogenic chamber, like, get in there.
Just stole a baby, covered him in a virus, and yeah. No, I'm enjoying it. I am really enjoying it. You don't have to think too much. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's Saturday morning cartoon. Like that's how it feels, But
it's not lost its edge, has it? It's still very much in keeping with the comic books. They've not, because it's a Disney Plus show and times have moved on from the 90s. I was expecting this to be a watered down version of the 90s show, but they're going all out with it. Yeah, it's just like it was.
Yeah, they're keeping the storylines quite harsh. Triple G again in the comments said he agrees. Love Morph, but he's been used as a cameo vehicle. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. A cameo vehicle is very good kind of explanation of him. And it's a shame because I think in this last episode, what with Sinister and that backstory, there was really an opportunity to kind of give us some emotion from Morph and kind of... But there wasn't, was there? It was like that little bit where he just kind of explained who he was, and that was it. Like it was almost a paragraph, and then it was done. Whereas, even just kind of some kind of PTSD kind of level of anxiety and stuff that would go with him knowing that Sinister was back on the scene. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they didn't. So.
Yeah, I think we're going to get Emma Frost as a bit of a villain in this one as well, because we know that Hellfire Club's going to be in it at some point. So I'm wondering whether this time, because they used Sebastian Shaw and all those guys last time, I wonder whether they'll use Emma Frost as like the main sort of leader of Hellfire Club this time.
Well, they've put her in that original in the lineup at the beginning, haven't they? Mm-hmm. So they've taken out like the unnamed, which went on to be Gremlin character, the little pink-headed dude in the green jumpsuit, and they've replaced him with Emma Frost and Deathstroke.
Yeah, I think it's Deathstroke.
Yeah. No, not Deathstroke. Oh, what's her name? Deathstroke's a bloody DC character. Lady Deathstrike.
Lady Deathstrike. Yeah. I know who you meant straight away.
Oh, darn me with my mixing up of my characters. But yeah, so they've replaced them with them. So we've already seen her briefly. So I wonder whether Emma Frost, like you say, will actually feature a little bit more. Who knows?
And obviously, Lady Deathstrike's one of the Morlocks, isn't she? In this. So wouldn't and Magneto's kind of freeing the Morlocks and giving them a place to live. So I wonder whether she's going to show up in his new utopia kind of thing.
Yeah. One thing I am surprised about as well, and I don't know whether this would have messed it or enhanced it, but with Magneto kind of taking over the school and everything, I'm really a little bit disappointed that he's not brought some people with him, like kind of,
Mystique
honorary students. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to see that kind of the drama that would unfold, having like once villains, once enemies kind of sharing the X-Men title and all that kind of stuff. But who knows?
No, they're really going for this whole thing with Rogue, aren't they? They're really playing on this. Rogue was once part of the Brotherhood and she was with Magneto, and they're really playing on that storyline.
Yeah, I think it's going to come back, and I think there's going to be something there. That's gonna. It did crack me up the way they'd booked out the Danger Room. Like that was sus as. Like, let's be honest, when he was going ding 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 ding, ding
every day was them.
Wow, like these guys are like they are locked in. Morlocks, not Morlocks, Ravenger. Thank you.
I know,
Nick.
I can't think of the names of it all. Jeez, it's been 10 years since I've read the comics. Give me a chance.
Yeah, a Ravenger with we just had them all in Marvel Legends as well, didn't we? Like Pretty Boy and everything. Yeah, you do.
I stopped caring about Marvel Legends about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, fair play. But yeah, I'm just catching up on the other comments. Yes, but anyway, yes. Sorry, a Ravager, not a Morlock. I wasn't even paying attention there. Yes, right. Okay, on to other entertainment. Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bethany Beth said toy news, toy news, toy news. Oh, hang on, look. Magneto also brings Juggernaut as a PE teacher and Sabretooth. Yeah. But no, I can put Sabretooth in there. Like, I think it would have been funny. Toy news from Bethany Beth. We are getting there. We are very close to our toy news segment. Hold up. Bad Batch, very quickly, in a nutshell, 5-10 minute talk quickly. We see the return of
Asajj Ventress.
Ventress, which I really liked. I'm not sure about her haircut. I'm not sure about her choice of haircut, but
it was in keeping with what she looked like in the flashbacks when she was younger. She had that same flippy bit. They kind of kept that in keeping with all the art and comics and things of her and her flashback sequences from the Clone Wars. But no, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think we've got quite a few episodes left, so I haven't even got any predictions yet.
The actress that plays her has already said, because like a lot of people were saying, how did she survive? They didn't even touch on it. There were a lot of people like commenting about that this week, and she put a thing out on Twitter and stuff, basically saying, stay tuned. She's in more than one episode. So.
Okay, cool.
And don't forget what people are forgetting is, obviously we've just had all the live action stuff with Boba Fett and all this storyline. And we know that in the modern day we're leading into this whole cloning thing. It's very much heir of the Empire. They're using that storyline again. But don't forget, Asajj Ventress was one of the characters that did help raise Boba Fett from being a boy into being a full-fledged bounty hunter. She was one of the people that helped him along the way. So I've got a feeling we're going to see a cameo from what would he be at this point? A young man version of Boba Fett. And obviously he's gonna look like the rest of the clones. So I'm looking forward to that. I think there should be. I want to see an interaction between Boba Fett and the clones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he looks like them. Because it's same actor.
That'd be very interesting. Very interesting. Right, let's talk toys because we've got lots to talk about and conscious of time. Let's go on to toys. Where do we even start with toy news this week?
The weird thing that Marvel did this week, which was drop some random Deadpool figures.
Yes, we had.
And I love the fact that they're called legacy figures. And Wolverine was never in Deadpool to be a legacy figure, but we all know he's in the third film.
Well, no. They've classed this is what really gets me, is that they've classed this version as the version of Wolverine that we see in the flashback scene post-credit in Deadpool 2.
Oh, behave. No.
Yep, that's what it was linked as. So it's essentially what was that? That was Wolverine. Was it the Wolverine or
the Wolverine? Yeah,
the Wolverine.
That feels like plot armor by Hasbro. That feels like Hasbro's going, "Don't kill us. We want to cash in and release a Wolverine again."
Yeah,
it's this version from that brief after credit sequence.
So there's two things about these two figures that stand out straight away. So, I mean, three things if you include the obvious that they are just repacks. The Deadpool seems to have the guns seem to be removable this time from the holsters.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if you remember when these first came out a few back. Yeah. And there was loads of people. There was loads of kind of like tutorials going around of how to remove them and how to melt the glue and cut the glue and all that kind of stuff. But making that very simple change does make the figure ultimately a little bit better, but I'm happy for anyone that wasn't able to get hold of it the first time around. This is great.
Wolverine goes on eBay for upwards of 60-70 quid sometimes. I've seen. I know in the groups it's different because people don't charge that much, but eBay prices, Wolverine's expensive now.
But this Wolverine is a mixture. So
it's a mixture of the two.
Yeah, the tank top Wolverine was the Amazon exclusive, I want to say, or the Pulse exclusive. It was something.
Yeah, if you remember, this is what I did with my Wolverine. I used the head from the other one on the body of that one because I liked the tank top Wolverine, but I wanted the other head. So I basically swapped all the heads over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they've done. They've taken the two heads out of the other pack and put it in this pack with the tank top.
They were the better heads.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah. My theory with this, and I know that we've discussed it during the week, but we have new Deadpool figures come in. There is
Oh, of
no
course
two
we
ways
do.
about that. There are new Deadpool figures come in, and what Hasbro are doing here is they are cashing in quickly before those ones are announced to buy into the character, the people that haven't obviously got these Deadpool figures, because Deadpool in itself would have picked up a fan base since these figures were released. So there are going to be people that want these 6-inch figures. So
I also think people that, because like we always look at it from the perspective of in-depth action figure collectors. If these are going to be on the shelf somewhere, if Smiths get these in, say, be people that are just enjoying the movies
we'll grab them.
that aren't normally action figure collectors can grab them because it's Wolverine and it's Deadpool, two very recognizable characters straight away that will sell at mass retail. Never mind just to collectors, mass retail these will sell.
Oh, massively.
Who wouldn't
Bethany
like
Beth
even non? Sorry, go on.
No, just saying. Bethany Beth said not seen the guns loose yet, but if you went back, you saw in the pictures that Sorrell just put through, there was a picture there with the guns out of the. There you go. So they're pictured out of the holsters. That's where people are picking that up from these product pictures.
Crotch shot.
But yeah, you're yeah, that's Deadpool. But you're completely right. These are genuine. Like that figure on the shelf, kids would pick it up, adults would pick it up. Like it's a decent
I think
Deadpool figure to have on display.
Yeah, even I was thinking like even if you were an action figure collector and you were just a bit of a geeky gamer or into comic books or whatever, if you saw that Deadpool on a shelf and it were 20 quid, you'd be like, yeah, I'll have that.
Yeah.
Even if you were an action figure collector, you kind of look at that figure and go, that's a really cool Deadpool.
No.
Deadpool's
And
one of them characters, isn't it? It's just he sells.
I class these two very much as like gateway figures that,
Yeah.
like you say, the standard collector that might not have the standard fan that might not have ever have heard of Marvel Legends as a brand, like ever, would pick one of these up and go, oh, this is brilliant. Oh, Marvel Legends, and then Google and then fall down that rabbit hole. So they are very much kind of gateway figures. But they are a massive cash in. Let's be honest, there is 100% figures for this Deadpool film coming out.
So they've officially called tomorrow. Well, tomorrow. They've officially called tomorrow April Fool's Day.
Yeah,
they are ramping up for Deadpool 3 now, and tomorrow is officially Deadpool Day. April Fool's Day is April Fool's Day, and I reckon tomorrow we're going to get a full trailer because we've only had a teaser trailer so far. I reckon tomorrow we're going to get the full trailer drop, and I reckon Hasbro are going to announce some figures. That's where I think tomorrow. Because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But why have they gone out of the way to announce it as April Fool's Day if they didn't have something planned?
Yeah, I agree. Did you see the leaked picture of the potential 2-pack?
Yeah, we knew that. Come on, we knew that were coming anyway.
So we don't know, obviously, whether this is a real image or whether it's just somebody's like having a bit of a Photoshop and stuff. But there is essentially a photo doing the rounds of a yellow suited Wolverine and a Deadpool that's too fuzzy to kind of work out exactly how he looks. Doing the rounds as a 2-pack, supposedly releasing for Q3, 2024. So it would make sense. It would make a lot of sense.
I reckon that'll be the 2-pack that's announced tomorrow.
Yeah,
really
I'm kind of with you on it. And I just think, for Hasbro, for Marvel Legends, there isn't a lot of MCU based or Marvel movie based properties that they can get figures out for.
Mm-hmm.
So their releases are very heavily aimed at the comic book fan at the moment and not the movie fan. And I think Deadpool being the one that they can do stuff for, I think they're going to go all out.
I'm really surprised that with obviously there being a Deadpool movie out this year, a Venom movie out, there's a lot of Fox products. I'm honestly really surprised they've not worked out some form of deal to do a best of Fox wave and then just release a bunch of because how cool would it be to have a Jennifer Garner Elektra or you know what I mean? Because we know they're going to feature in the movie because they're already credited. So I mean, even if they just released them from the old movie and they didn't use the new licensing, just it's the original Daredevil movie. Here's an Affleck and a Garner. People would buy them.
Yeah, of
people
course
buy
there
them
is.
up. Or if they re-release the Fantastic Four and and then try and do some Fantastic Four figures from the old movies or
Yeah,
things like that, or give us some characters from the X-Men Fox movies that we've not had yet. They
yeah.
only really did Mystique, Wolverine, Magneto, Charles, and that was kind of it, wasn't it?
Cyclops got one. No, there are quite a few of
No,
them gone.
did Cyclops get a
Oh
movie
no, no,
figure?
you're talking about the
The
recent
Fox
re-release.
movie ones, yeah, the
You're talking about
Fox
new one.
movie.
Yeah, yeah. No, it wasn't. It was very limited. Very
So I mean,
limited.
I'm really surprised they've not gone back, like you say, and given done a Halle Berry Storm and I'm
Yeah.
really surprised those haven't randomly shown up yet.
Yeah.
Because they're bound to be in the movie.
While we're on Deadpool, very quickly before we
Hmm.
move on to the next thing, it's probably a good place to talk about it. But have you heard the latest about Channing Tatum Gambit?
No.
Supposedly, so Hugh Jackman and Channing Tatum's Instagram posts and stuff are all very cryptic. And supposedly there's a bit of stuff going on there that hints towards him cameoing as Gambit in this upcoming film, which we've said before would be the ultimate move if they can give us the Channing Tatum Gambit that we never got in this movie. It would be incredible.
Even if he's just sat at that table where Patch is playing cards, even if he's just there at the table, that's all. I just want a Gambit, throwing a card at a table. That's all I want.
It's just yeah, it would be very, very cool. But toys.
Yeah, moving on. So next, but again, we've talked about it, but now we've had some more news. The Simpsons. So this is the playset. We know now that there's going to be four different lines. There's going to be a basic series, a collector's series, a higher end. There's like a higher end version of them as well, and then there's going to be plushies and advent calendars apparently. So this is the basic series because everyone were commenting on the figures, but the play sets and these are the very basic low level stuff. So these will be available in like your Smiths and that, I reckon. These are like your kids' toys, but I think they're still. I would still want them, to be honest. I think it's cool to have their little playset diorama. Yeah, to have the house and a full playset like that with all the, you know what I mean, that includes Homer and all the original characters. I'm for that. I'm all for that. Yeah. Especially because they can sit down on the sofa as well. I think that's cool.
Oh, look, you can make them chase each other around. Bethany Beth said some of them are on Amazon US already, which is interesting.
So we've got a Krusty the Clown, which includes 14 phrases. This is a giant plush.
That looks like Nightmare Fuel.
Well, on his back, he can change him to be evil Krusty or good Krusty.
Oh, wow.
And he's got a pull string. So yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is Nightmare Fuel, that, isn't it? Them teeth. Moe's phone. Who's not going to want Moe's phone? Electronic, it does make noise and does do all the things from the TV series.
So that's the Simpsons phone, isn't it?
Moe's Tavern's phone.
You're calling Moe?
No, that is the phone from Moe's Tavern. It says on it Moe's Tavern. Yeah, it's got a sticker on the bottom. Moe's Tavern.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
People they always prank call the thing, don't they? The bar. They always prank call the bar and stuff. So that's the whole. There's going to be loads of electric jokes and things. I think that's going to come out of it.
That'd be cool. There
you go. Includes 10 plus pranks.
That's just a really random.
I like it though. I'm all for that. I want that. I think that's funny.
I'm just thinking about like Batman dioramas, like Batman, like you could literally make the Bat phone out of that.
And yeah, there's going to be an advent calendar this year for The Simpsons with little figures inside, and they're all holiday themed.
Awesome. Andy Hyde said that phone has to be part of the Geek Week going forward. You both need one each. Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, The Simpsons.
It's just cool to see new Simpsons stuff coming out. Like it's just cool. Like, and when I say new Simpsons, I know some of the higher end brands have been doing the Simpsons and all the rest of it. But on the shelf kids toys, like it's cool to see that level of Simpsons, because like my kids all watch Simpsons on Disney Plus. Like they're all up to they go back and watched all the old ones and they're watching the new ones and that kind of stuff. So to have new figures and new toys, like my boys would go and buy a Bart Simpson toy, like hands down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool.
Okay, moving on to WonderCon now.
WonderCon. Just quickly, while you're loading your pictures up, Northern Nomad is there and said, "I like Taylor Kit." I can never say his name properly. Kish. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but yeah, the guy with the bowler hat. I didn't mind him, to be fair. He just wasn't Channing Tatum, and at the time, I was kind of like waiting for Channing Tatum. So
Yeah.
yeah, but he was alright. He did okay. I wasn't a fan of the bowler hat. So WonderCon.
Yeah, so I will warn you, these are all shots from the screen and stuff like that. The other stuff has started rolling through, but for easiness, these are all together and it's nice and easy to flick through them all. But we do
credit as well to a handful of creators that are out there taking the pictures, uploading them.
Articulated Points on Instagram is the one that's taken all these ones.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So the Black Series are giving us a Momon Nadon. It's going to be a fan channel exclusive. I believe it's from Clone Wars, I want to say. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm not massively up on that character, so don't quote me on that. But I think it's Clone Wars.
My camera's gone off. I'm here still though.
So yeah, we got that one coming out. It's a Black Series figure. Obviously, ever since they did Doc Onda, we know they're going to start slowly releasing more and more of this particular Star Wars alien.
Yeah.
Zeb is getting his release in the Vintage series.
Nice.
There's his little box. We're also getting Ezra on card back as well. This is from the Ahsoka series, so it's an updated Ezra.
Cool.
We're also getting a Kanan as well, so they are helping us finish off the
Rebels.
The Rebels, yeah. Vintage getting some love there. Then we move on to the Marvel stuff. That's where Jacob might have to help us out here, but this is Iron Man, isn't it? This is the new retro wave from Toy Biz.
I was not like, some people were really hyped about this, and I was like, nah. Okay. Yeah, I think it's Mark
20,
30 or 20, something like that. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I mean, they're nice figures. I mean, at one point, I collected every single Iron Man figure that Legends put out. I just had this humongous collection of Iron Man Hall of Armors. And you know what? And I can say this as a recovering collector, but there does get a fatigue stage that no matter how nice the new ones are, it is just another Iron Man. And I don't want to take anything away from collectors that enjoy Iron Man, because I did for a very long time. Like I said, collected every single one, had them all up. But yeah, it just kind of got to a stage where I just kind of get that fatigue. And I think for me personally, that's where I am now, is it's like, okay, this is cool. Like Iron Man has got loads of suits throughout the comics, throughout the movies, the cartoons, like all of it. There are so many different incarnations of his suit that it's cool that they're giving us different ones. But yeah, I mean, it's
I always thought I was a big nerd, right? Until I got involved in Marvel Legends and found that people can tell the difference between all the different Mark suits. And to me, it just looks red and gold like it does in the movie. And that just looks like another Iron Man to me. But there's so many people out there that can tell you that is the Mark 20, the Mark 30, the Mark, where it's like, how can you tell? They all look the same.
The thing is, as well, is it depends what form of media you're following, I suppose, because if you're a big comic book fan, having comic book accurate suits that changed for the different storybook arcs of the suits and stuff is very cool. If you've got a particular, a particular story arc or a particular era of comic books that you enjoyed, and they are finally giving you a suit that fits in that storyline or that era, then this is great. It is really great. But for the kind of the casual collector, like you say, it's just another Iron Man.
Yeah. But then again, there was some in this wave that did get my attention.
Whiplash,
yeah. The comic version of Whiplash. Sorry, these pictures are horrible, but
you know what? Like, again, this is cool. It's a comic book style version of Whiplash, which is wicked. But I still really wish we had a decent like movie version of Whiplash, just because he looked cool. Like he looked very cool. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever get that because of old Mickey Rourke.
Aye.
Mickey Rourke. No, Rourke.
So, I did like that. I did like that shot, to be honest. I thought
That is
I
a
thought
good
it was
shot.
really cool.
That is a good shot. But yeah, like someone Beth said, their retro card backs look nice. They do. They're very nice card backs indeed. But we have obviously seen them. We've seen these already. They used the Iron Man card back once or twice, didn't they?
And they've used it in the box
releases.
as well. They did an Iron Man on that card back, didn't they? And then they did like a boxed version for the gun or something.
Yeah,
A little while ago.
So they're cool. They're cool.
So yeah, there's another Iron Man in golden red. Couldn't tell you what version it is.
I can't remember which one this is. See, now I feel bad because at one point I could, but
Mr. Nefarious, I did like that one. That one, to be fair, that one did. I do like that.
Not fussed about that at all.
Count Nefaria.
Not fussed about that one at all.
How about Gold Iron Man?
You know what? Again, I think this is the one that annoyed me the most because it's Iron Man with a skirt, like, and it is comic book accurate that we had this gold Iron Man with the skirt, and yeah, it's good. It's a good nod for people like who want that. But I was just kind of like, it's the one that they gave us in the Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest was cool because it was a Mark 1. I've still got one myself because I was like, this is a cool figure, I'm keeping it. And this is just a retooled version of that with the skirt in a different color. And yeah, I'm not fussed.
Beth in the comments, shots fired, my friend. Shots fired.
You know what though? Like I said, Marvel Legends and UK based, I had everything, like literally everything for so long. And like I said, between when they relaunched as the like Infinity series or whatever it was called back in 2014, I had every single figure that was released from 2014 to 2022. I think it was like mid-COVID. Every single figure, every single special release, every single builder figure, everything, and the fatigue kit. And it was kind of like, you know what? I'm a big supporter of Hasbro. I'm a big supporter of Marvel. I'm a big supporter of Marvel Legends, but I didn't need them all. And there's so much more that my interests lie in. Like I like Power Rangers, I like Ghostbusters, I like Turtles, I like He-Man, I like Street Fighter, I like Indiana Jones, I like Jurassic Park. You know, I like all those. Not even getting started on the retro stuff or the more modern stuff like Invincible and Lord of the Rings and all the rest of it. Putting all of that time and energy to just Marvel Legends, the fatigue kit, and I was like, I don't need 55 versions of Wolverine. I love Wolverine. I can have 10 and be just as big a fan as somebody with 100.
Yeah, that's for me. I was all about the X-Men. And then I stupidly started getting FOMO because the groups were booming at the time and everyone were trying to get the figures first, and I fell into that trap. And before I knew what I had, because I had literally every single X-Men figure that was ever released, and I started going back and buying old ones like the old black and grey Warpath, and I spent a fortune on him. And you know what I mean, I was going back and buying that. Then I sort of branched out to like the Deadpool characters because he fits in with X-Men, and I kind of kept it contained. And then all of a sudden, I tried to start collecting Spider-Man. I started trying to collect the Avengers, and I was like, right, I'm gonna have a retro Avengers set. I want a retro Avengers set. And I started getting MCU, and I just fell down the rabbit hole, and it all got far too much. And I literally had 3 boxes in the corner of my room full of Marvel Legends that didn't see the light of day. And I'm like, what am I doing? Just to get a video online, which is so sad when you think about it. I was like, just to make a video.
Mick said here, that's what the Mark II was, Jacob. Yeah, no, I know that's what it was. And this is what I'm saying, is that it is literally a case of they've taken the Mark 1 that they've given us and repainted it and given it a skirt, which is comic book accurate and works. And for anybody that is collecting in that to that extent, is great to have that Mark 1 and Mark 2 next to each other. But for me, I'm happy I've got the Mark 1. I don't need the Mark 2. And that was the kind of point I was getting to, is that it is just a repainted suit. Yes, it's exactly what the Mark 2 was. There you go, let us side by side. But I don't need it.
Yeah.
There was one figure in there, though, that did get my spark my
Was it this
interest.
one?
And
Was it
there she
She-Hulk?
is. There
Yeah.
she is.
That got my attention too, to be fair, the Shield.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Mix doing a little post. Yeah, so this one for me was this one. Collectors, fans have been crying out for like She-Hulk in the leotard for ages, absolutely ages. And I'm really pleased that we actually finally get one. This is a good figure. This is a good release.
Yeah.
This is the one that got my interest.
Yeah, no, it got my attention too, this one. I like this version of She-Hulk, definitely. That's the one I've always wanted them to release, because she'll fit in with all the classic Avengers in that sort of in that costume. So I always preferred that one over the torn jeans any day.
Yeah.
And there's the lineup together. So pre-orders Tuesday, April 2nd at 1 p.m. EST. Check your fan channels and Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah, it's all right. It's pretty good.
Then we got some Ghostbusters.
Finally.
Yeah. 1/18th scale, 1984 Ecto 1. Looks nice.
Yep.
This did get my attention, along with these bad boys, the O-Ring 375-inch Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I like the look of these, to be honest. I know they're like old school O-Ring figures. That's like proper nostalgic right there.
Yeah, but for anyone that's a 375 collector, like a 3 3/4 inch collector, these are brilliant, because if you do collect a handful of different things, we've been waiting for a decent 3 3/4 inch.
100%.
But I haven't seen. I don't know whether they've been out yet. I've only seen these in photos like this. I haven't. So with a lot of the others, like the Marvel Legends, the Iron Man wave, for example, there was high-res production pictures released almost instantly after the convention. Have they been released for this? Because I haven't seen them.
Sorry, I'll read the comments now. I do apologize. Have they done any hands-on images yet, do you mean?
No. So for the Marvel Legends, the
Yeah.
high-res images came out almost instantly.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them for these, but that's only because I
Yes.
haven't been stuck to my phone.
They have released some images for these now, and they've also got some hands-on pictures. All these figures were more or less available at the Hasbro booth at WonderCon.
Oh, brilliant.
They had a lot of prototypes, things like that. So I mean, there's a lot of like hands-on pictures as well. People were like, there's some photos of some guys online that are like picking them up and actually looking at them and stuff. So Hasbro were allowing people to like touch them and everything. So
Oh, wicked. Yeah. No, see, you know what? I could go for this set and that Ecto one.
yeah, sorry, sorry, Mr. Spectre were putting me off in the comments there. I was trying to read his ginormous post.
Yeah. Just saying that. Sorry that our knowledge was not completely perfect tonight, Mr. Spectre. But yeah, I'm very.
I don't ever pretend to be a master of all things. I've never ever once confessed to be a know-it-all of Marvel, because I genuinely don't. I just collect action figures that I like the look of, people. I collect bits of plastic for a hobby. I don't need to know every single piece of detail about every single franchise. That's never what I've been about.
Not what we do here.
Just putting that out there.
Not what we do here. But no, I would quite happily pick up a 3 3/4 inch, much to Ryan's disgust or pleasure. I don't know how we feel about that, but I would quite happily pick up a 3 3/4 inch collection of Ghostbusters along with that 1/18th scale Ecto 1. I think it would look really cool on the shelf.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I'm a bit annoyed as well that, because obviously Fan Home have done Ecto 1 as well, haven't they?
What?
The Fan Home did an Ecto 1. like as
Yes.
part of their
Sorry,
subscription.
the Builder Lecto one. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
And it's
I'm
one
not
of
sure
the
what.
ones I'm really disappointed I didn't follow through on.
Oh yeah, but how long would it take you to build it? Come on, how much of Optimus Prime have you built now? One leg, and you're on like issue 10 or something daft.
Issue 10. I'm on issue. I'm touching issue 40 at the moment.
Oh Jesus! And you've only how much have you built?
A leg. No, I'm a little bit behind. So I've got my last. Hang on, let's have a look. So the last package, everything falling down behind me. The last package that they sent me was there you go, issue 36. So I've got 5 issues here that I've just filmed the build for. Up to issue 36, and the next 5 are in the post, so that will take me up to 41, issue 41.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of books. I've done this so many that many so far, and yeah, it's an incredible figure, and I think the more I'm building this Optimus Prime, the more disappointed I am. I didn't do the Ecto one, just because I think it would have looked really good with like the Plasma series figures. But
yeah, 100%. But yeah, would you ever get it complete? That's my thing. I've never, like, every time Fan Home contact me and say, would you like to do the buildable Robocop? Would you like to do the? I always decline that. The ones I always do are like the Star Wars ships and stuff like that. The ones that I know are die cast, each one's individual. I can post them as and when I want. I don't need to do like a build of every single one. You know what I mean? So that would drive me bonkers.
Oh no, I think if I was building more than one at a time, it would frustrate me. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, to be honest with you, I've never seen through an entire build, and that's one of the reasons why I was quite happy to partake in that with them, because they were like, "Do you want this Optimus Prime? Do you want to build this Optimus Prime?" And I was like, "Yeah, I really do." And because of him obviously being a robot, like, and a vehicle, and like obviously a transformer in that respect, but I just thought it worked really well with the kind of the subscription build, that
Yeah.
it would look quite cool. So yeah, no, I'm really loving it. I fully, anyone that kind of has jumped on board and started it, like, I'm pretty confident you'll be enjoying what you see so far, because I'm definitely enjoying it.
So McFarlane was also at WonderCon.
Yeah.
And they've started to drop some new stuff from their end. So more of the movie Maniacs being introduced, including the 40-Year-Old Virgin, the Big Lebowski, and Dave's and Confused. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
They're all kind of cult films. They're all kind of cult classics in that respect. So I think that these are very much like, I think they'll do all right.
Then we've got the Matrix movie Maniacs as well, Neo and Trinity.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the DC lines.
Booster Gold.
Yeah, Booster Gold. And we've got Mr. Freeze. I like that Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
that feels very nostalgic, that Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. Who's the green guy?
I have no clue, mate. I'm not even going to attempt. Can't even read what that says. I don't know who he is. It's not a character I'm familiar with. And then we've got Robin as well. It's the Tim Drake version of Robin.
Yep, that looks cool.
Yep. Then we got we have the guy on the end. We've seen this figure before, right? Or was this the first time we saw him?
Yeah.
I feel like we've seen the Batgirl as well, haven't we? From this wave, we've kind of seen bits of this before. Yeah. Thought so.
Yeah.
Yep. The guy on the end, I literally had to do a double take because I assumed that was Jason X. It took me a moment to realize it's not Jason X. Look at that face.
Beth said ambush bug. I need a bit of help with the DC characters because I don't know.
Apparently it looks like Jason X, but apparently it's Sportsmaster.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm not Reverse Flash, and I've got no guy there.
Yeah.
These aren't the ones I got excited about. I'm just going through the slides, going through the slides,
We're
people.
going for them. I like the fact that they are smaller builder figures, though. So what? 4 figures, and then you get the 5th.
Yeah, 4 figures, and you get the 5th. So it's Plastic Man is the builder figure in that one.
Yeah, I do like that Superman though. That's the blue and red.
Yeah, it looks nice
when he separates and becomes like the blue version and the red version, and like I always quite like the design of those. So that's a figure I could potentially pick up.
And that's the 90s Aquaman, isn't it? 90s, early 2000s Aquaman, where they were kind of like trying to beef him up and change his look a little bit from being the campy Aquaman.
Andy Hyde said Green Lantern Manhunter robot was the figure next to Reverse Flash. I think the McFarlane figures are good. They're doing it. They're covering all bases. Here they are.
This is what got me a little bit, yay, a little bit excited, a little bit too much. Val Kilmer Batman, finally, yeah,
that's very cool.
Obviously, we're getting Robin as well in the classic red and green from the movie, because obviously we've got the Batman and Robin one, which I've got on the shelf behind me, but Two-Face and Riddler as well. Oh yeah. We've been talking about these for months now, haven't we? Us two. We've said so many times the need to do this wave. It was inevitable.
I'm just annoyed that I didn't jump on it at the beginning, because now that they are doing these figures, it's like I'd want them all. I'd want all of the movie versions, but
yeah, well, they've only done. You can still get most of them. I mean, the Batman and Robin figures I think are still in stock with Comics and Cocktails and a few other places.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can still get them. I was never bothered for the Bale Batman stuff, because I was never a massive fan. I know that's sacrilege to say, but that one was never my favorite Batman films. I like the older ones from the childhood. I've got more feelings towards them. So like I always wanted Two-Face, Riddler, so I can stand them next to a Poison Ivy and Freeze, and then I hope they release Jack Nicholson and Catwoman and Penguin, and
they've got to, haven't they? Really?
At this point, they have to do now. Keep going backwards.
Yeah. Now that they've done these ones, it's almost
I know there's not really anything else you could really do as a builder figure in this wave, but the bat from the sequence where Val Kilmer's in the Riddler's machine and he sees the bat flying towards him, that is the builder figure.
The kind of builder figure that no one really thought about.
Yeah, it's a random one. It's like that time when Multiverse years ago did that random Batman grappler gun. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was a builder thing. So yeah, it's a bit different.
I had a couple of parts of that. I was like, I kind of want to build it because I've got a part of it, but yeah.
We haven't seen any form of, as far as I'm aware anyway, people can correct me if I'm wrong, but these are the only shots we've seen of these so far. So we've not seen what accessories are going to come with them. I can only assume that Riddler hopefully comes with his bowler hat and his cane. And because I would kind of want that hat for Riddler.
Yeah.
And okay, but then again, he's got a jacket as well. There's so many. I wonder if they're going to release, because I know McFarlane like to do chase variants and gold label, and so I wonder whether we're going to see a couple of variants of Jim Carrey's Riddler down the line. Because I can see them repainting that figure in silver and making him glittery. Yeah. For that end of for the end of the film, I can see them doing that. So yeah, I've got a feeling we're going to see a couple of variants on that one.
He was just such a good Riddler.
He really was. So these are the other ones that if you're wanting to go out for the Bale series of stuff, that's all them figures. They're all available.
What's that blue one? Oh,
that's the Joker in the
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that one.
Yeah.
But these ones, ooh. Starfire finally. Not in the costume we wanted, but in a decent costume.
And that penguin is just reminiscent of the 90s toys as well.
Oh yeah. There's some high-end glossy pictures on Toy Arc of that one, and it looks awesome. He looks awesome. And of course Captain Boomerang there from Suicide Squad.
Yep. Looks very cool.
The Tumbler's coming.
Oh, nice.
Along with Morgan Freeman.
Oh, wow. That's cool. They are going all out at McFarlane, aren't they, really? Let's be honest. They're going
I think,
all
to be
in.
fair, it's what people want. People wanted the movie stuff, so he's given us the movie stuff.
I just still can't believe that Hasbro haven't jumped in on the vehicle side of things.
I think they've given us a couple now, haven't they? They were like Lobo's bike. They've given us the Batmobile for Kilmer. No, for
No, I mean
for
Hasbro.
Hasbro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hasbro are never going to touch vehicles in 1,000 years for Marvel.
Because McFarlane are doing it, and it's just the right amount. It's just Hasbro started off with those Rider series, but they were just kind of basically repaints of the same bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, check McFarlane's Facebook page. They've got some pictures up of those three now. So, yes, we will.
Sergeant Rock, another character I'm excited about.
Cool.
Grab it. I've read loads of comics of Sergeant Rock, so I'm excited about him. And yeah, Superboy and Batman. I couldn't tell you what variant that is, but yeah, Batman, another Batman fig.
What's the brackets there behind Superboy? Oh, it's just his name. Okay. I wondered whether it was a particular type of a particular version or whether it's based on something.
Yeah.
Do you think we're gonna go down the lines of Titans, the TV show? Do you think they're going to give us that? Because now that they're doing the movie stuff, they could potentially. I mean, there's lots of movie stuff to still catch up on, but there's also TV stuff they could touch on.
I think they're playing into the nostalgia vibe more than the modern stuff, because there's a load of modern stuff they could give us technically. From Arrow, Flash. There's tons of stuff they could give us, but I think they're playing more into the nostalgia factor.
They need to do Smallville first.
Like, once they've done, if they do keep going, once they've done 89 Batman, once they've done the Keaton Batman stuff again, I'm feeling they might touch on maybe Halle Berry Catwoman and films like that. The films that kind of were crap at the time, but we love now, or like people have grown to like over the years, a bit more cult classic-y.
Interesting. I just want an Aquaman.
That kind of stuff.
I want a Smallville Aquaman action figure announced. That's what I want.
Smallville, I could see him doing. I could see him doing Smallville, because again, that would play into that old school nostalgia. Yeah. It's old enough now to be considered nostalgia. You know what I mean?
Smallville. There was that weird kind of "we're not the Justice League, but we're the Justice League" episode. Do you remember that, where there was like 5 of them that teamed up? I would like to see that as a box set. the dodgy made for TV Justice League. Northern Nomad said McFarlane gets too much negative criticism, and you know what? I kind of agree. Having a look at all these, like, there are some seriously good releases there. I'm not a huge fan of the figures, the way that the figures are made, and I think that's what lets it down for me. Is I think that the detail and the sculpting on a lot of them are very good. But yeah, there's just they're very limited with the articulation and for kind of posability and action figure photography and things like that, Yeah.
Yeah, it's the McFarlane at the end of the day, so all McFarlane figures are the same. They're durable enough. They're easy to customize. It's only the same as, like, I suppose Hasbro do the same thing with theirs. Theirs are all on similar books, aren't they? You know what I mean? They're all It's just their way of doing. This is their way of doing things. You know what I mean? It's just different to what we're used to because Hasbro put out so much, I think.
Mika said that he would buy the F out of a Smallville, especially the Green Arrow. Andy, interestingly, said that they did release a Titans TV wave, but it never made it over to the UK. With Beast Boy as the Baff. There we go. I didn't know that. I've missed that. And
what, McFarlane did?
Yeah, Mick again. I don't remember that. Justice League, not the Justice League in Smallville was ace. I just remember getting really hyped about that episode. Yeah, I don't remember this Titans TV wave, so I'm going to have to Google that. But then I don't really follow McFarlane's releases as close as some of the others. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were just showing off the ones we have seen previously, I believe, and they're including the digital collectible. So collect all 3 to build Animal Man. And then we move on to Superpowers, and they've got Batman Animated Series. So there's some more of those things coming out soon.
Wow. See,
Yeah, I do like.
these are the animated figures that we should have.
Well, we had most. We did have most of these, or some of these, with towards the because like the Mask of the Phantasm, I've still got that as part of, from the 2-pack.
Yeah.
So I mean, we did get that one. We did. I think did we get that Bane? I think that Poison Ivy came out towards the very end of the multiverse line.
I don't think it was that version of Bane.
And I think that Batman with it's the cyborg Batman, isn't it? Cyborg Batman. He came out at the very tail end of the old Mattel days.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Music Maniacs. So we know from earlier in the week, I think I spoke about them on my live stream, but we're getting Ozzy and Alice Cooper. But they've also added to the lineup that we're getting Eddie and Rob Zombie as well.
Oh, Iron Maiden's Eddie.
Yeah,
that's cool.
To be fair, Ozzy Osbourne looks weird, but Alice Cooper looks spot on. Alice Cooper looks good.
Yeah.
So he's one that I'd be tempted to grab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ozzy just looks too odd.
The Ozzy from here just looks like he's wearing a weird hat.
He's wearing a weird hat. It's from his album. It's the more modern Ozzy, which I wish they'd have gone for the old school Ozzy, if I'm honest. But it's based on his more modern stuff. But I mean, Rob Zombie as well looks okay. I'd probably go for a Rob Zombie.
He looks like a Walking Dead character from here.
He does. He really does. Then we got some Spawn.
Cool.
I'm not massively into Spawn, so I'm just gonna flick through these. Oh, there's another one image. There you go. So there you go. That was the McFarlane line. Yeah,
I think they showed up. McFarlane. They showed up and
the Batman Forever figures alone kind of the Batman Forever figures were what everyone wanted to see.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back and rewatch the Batman films from the beginning. I'm going to rewatch them and see if I'm as attached to them as I remember I am. That makes sense?
Yeah. I like Keaton's Batman, but I find that when I watch them back now, I've got a special place for Batman 2. Batman Returns.
Yeah.
But that's for a whole different reason that's between me and my psychiatrist.
That's for Late Night Geek Week.
No, it's nothing to do with Michelle Pfeiffer. No. Imagine this. You're a disabled kid, right? That's born with differences, okay?
You're going to make me feel bad for laughing.
No. This is a genuine like thing for me. And I remember this literally came out when I was talking to people. And literally, I always hated Batman in that movie. Because basically, you got to think, Penguin was just a kid that was born with deformities, and his parents put him in a basket and shoved him in the sewers and got rid of him. I was a kid that was born with disabilities watching this film that felt different to my friends. I know it's deep, innit? And I'm watching this film back going, why did they get rid of this kid? Like, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just a dude. He's just got difference. He's disabled or whatever. That's how I saw it. And I'm like, and then people portrayed him as the villain. I'm like, what the fuck? So to me, it's got a very deep, weird thing in my brain as that movie.
You know what? I've told you I'm going to go back and rewatch them, and now I'm not going to be able to watch it without thinking about it.
But it's the same. It's the same with X-Men. That's what gravitated me towards the X-Men comics. I've said this before. You got to imagine, when I was a kid, I didn't know any other disabled kids because I grew up in a very small town in Pontefract. There was no other disabled kids around me. It wasn't until I went to high school that I met other kids in wheelchairs. So, like, for me, I grew up on my own with false leg, with my prosthetic leg, my colostomy, all my other difficulties, being in hospital for the first, 6-7 years of my life. No one else I knew had to go through this crap. So I was like, why am I so different? And then I find this comic book called X-Men. That is my attachment to Marvel right there.
Wait a minute, I'm a friggin' superhero. That's amazing. No, you know what? I'd never I totally get it. I totally agree with that as a perspective on the film now, but I never got it. How ignorant is that of my kind of? But yeah, never seen. So
that's kind of my affinity to Penguin. I always say I've got an affinity for Penguin, and that's kind of the deep little meaning of why I love Penguin so much. Is my character. Not only do I look like Danny DeVito a little bit, but cool. he's definitely my character.
Very cool.
But yeah, what the hell are we on about? Yeah, so I was saying before I went off on a tangent, my attachment is always to Forever and Batman and Robin. They're the ones I
Why-
watched the most as a kid.
Why Batman and Robin?
Because they were the ones that I remember at the time when the original Batman figures came out, like when the original Batman films came out. I was born in '89, so I remember it on VHS. I don't remember it coming to cinemas or anything like that. I don't remember the hype of it. Whereas I was old enough to remember Forever and Batman and Robin and go through the hype
Yeah.
of the figures coming out. And that, I remember the Christmas that the Batman and Robin came out, I had all the toys. I had all the different 2-packs of figures, and I had the stupid Nerf gun, and I had all of it. I literally had all of it. So, like, your Batman and Robin and Batman Forever were the two that I grew up watching the most.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was reading as well about the Batman films. 'Cause you know Kiss from a Rose?
Yeah.
Like that song, like single-handedly, like saved Seal's career.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even like written for the film; it was used for the film. And
Was because of all the marketing around the movie. Do you remember that song from the movie, or do you remember the video game song because it was played that often in the 90s? You
The
can
video game.
run, but there's no escape.
Oh,
You can hide. That one. You
Yeah.
can fight and never win when good battles evil. The real game begins.
No,
I remember
see-
that for Batman and Forever, but I'd never remembered the Seal song.
No, see, for me, it's the other way around. Like literally, I hear the ba-da, ba, ba-da, and I'm like, Batman. But it was a case of I can't remember, don't quote me on this, but the article I was reading, basically, Seal like knew the producer or knew the director or something like that, and they basically went to him and asked if he had a song that they could use on the film, or whether he could write a song or something like that. But he was like basically at the turning point of his career where it was like, and that's why the song has got nothing really to do with the film, because it was like he played it and he was supposed to feature it in a small scene in the film or something to basically give him a boost or whatever, and ended up using it as the title song for the film, and so it just blew up. But I can't remember. I'm gonna have to reread the article or rewatch the video. I can't remember which one it was, but and I'll come back with the exact facts. But when I watched it, and I was like, oh, and that makes so much sense as to why that song had nothing to do with the film whatsoever. Like there's no reference or no correlation between the song and the film. But yeah.
Yes, I am a young boy. I'm not really. I'm 35. I mean, I'm knocking on now. But
I'm just trying to catch up with the comments now.
I like Andy Hyde's comment. He thought it was just because that when I'm not on camera, I dress in a top hat, tails, and have a monocle.
Bring back
as soon as the camera goes off, I put a monocle on him. Where's my fish?
It is. It is. You should see this before we go live. I'm like, Sorrell, the monocle, quick. Oh. Yes. And Northern Nomad as well said he was also Hawk in Titans. Yes, Aquaman. Smallville's Aquaman was Hawk in Titans, and of course is Reacher. But yeah, you know what? I completely didn't associate the two. That's just the penny's just dropped now. That of course he was Hawk in Titans, which was Hawk and Dove in Titans are two of my favorites. But there we go. Was there any other toy news? Because we're obviously running close to finish time.
No, there was a few more of that like high glossy images that have come out now of all the figures that were kind of released. There was some G.I. Joe stuff, but I'm not even going to attempt to go through G.I. Joe because I know nothing about G.I. Joe. I literally know nothing.
No.
No, that was kind of it.
By us not knowing the details of the exact figures and the date.
We've upset Mick enough this evening. Let's leave him be. Other than that, the Frazetta Girls Fire and Ice Tigra officially came out for pre-order. You can get her from the Frazetta Girls website, but I believe the whole shebang has got her listed up as well for about 80 quid.
Sweet.
Woo! On the expensive side, but she looks cool. Yeah. The only other figure that deserves a little shout out this week, I've got to say it. I've got to show you it. So you know me, I like the occasional wrestling figure. I can't not.
This one was loading up the images, one thing I've got to say as well is that the Spider-Man wave, the Marvel Legends Spider-Man wave with Scarlet Spider and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, finally has started landing in people's hands over here in the UK. And the groups were rife with people commenting about the particular place that they had pre-ordered, whether it was, you know, in demand, comics and cocktails, whatever. And everyone just kind of complaining about the individual retailer, thinking that they had delayed it. But obviously in the UK we had a massive delay, and they are finally here. They are finally here, and people are picking them up, and they're landing in people's hands, and they look pretty good. So I cannot wait to have a couple of them in my hands as well.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Jack O'Lantern and what's she called, Hallows Eve dropping, because I've got them two on pre-order.
Yeah. And he said, if you listen closely, you can just hear Mick booing off now in his room, like the scene out of Legend, and a proper shout out. Mick just said, let's be fair, lads, I am very, very drunk. We love you, Mick. You know, it's all in jest.
Andy, why would you do that? Because I see that stupid scene on TikTok about 1,000 times a day. A shootout is a shootout, like a western. I love that film so much. It's so quotable.
You know I'm in it.
Oh yeah? Are you in that one?
Yeah, mate, I'm in that film.
How do you keep getting in movies?
I am in that film. I am 100% in that film. If you have a look, when he takes, I can't remember the name of his girlfriend now.
Yeah, I know you mean.
But when it's snowing and he takes her down the high street and he stands across from the Hideaway Club and he goes,
yeah,
see that place? And he looks over and it pans over to the Hideaway Club. I'm the doorman.
That's cool.
100%. Yep, I worked on a night. It was an overnight shoot. They basically transferred this road in London. They transferred it and turned it into a, you know, the back in the day and stuff, and all the fake fronts and everything like that. And the Hideaway Club literally was a door, and you kind of went in around the corner. So when they were filming, you only ever had like 2 or 3 people going round, because then they had to come back out again. And then obviously we went to different locations to do the inside stuff. But yeah, I was what they classed as like a featured extra, because I had my own action call. So there's me and another guy that are doorman, and they kind of like actioned everyone else, and then they gave us our action. And basically my kind of acting was literally it was mental. You only see me for like a split second, and obviously I'm an extra, so it's not credited, but clean shaven, I'm in my black coat, and I'm the doorman of the Hideaway Club. So I did tick off something in my bucket list, because in one of the trailers for the film they show that scene, and they give you a sort of a like an aerial shot of the road, and you can see me, and I was like, I made it into the trailer. That was on my bucket list. Never mind about being in a film. I was like, I want to be in a trailer. But yeah, 100%, 100%. There you go. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, my final figure that I wanted to share with you, just because it amused the hell out of me, was this Hulk Hogan. Marvel Legends, WB Legends Series 23 will give us a couple of new figures, but this Hulk Hogan's on there, and it's the guitar playing Hulk Hogan.
It is. I'm a real American. It's that, ain't it?
I'm just loving the fact that this is older, balding Hulk Hogan at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the proper with his cowboy boots and everything.
Yeah.
I am a real American.
You know what? That is such an entrance tune. Like, yeah. I can listen to that all the time. You know what? Mick said, hang on, is Jacob taking the mic? I'm going to watch Legend again to see that. You can do. If we weren't at the tail end of the show, I'd get it up now on my phone and just show you. But maybe next week I'll show you a screenshot. But 100% I am there. There we go. That's it for the thing. It is a bank holiday weekend, so we do appreciate everyone that has come and joined in. We were toying around with the idea of kind of moving the show date because it would be a bank holiday weekend, but we thought, you know what, nah, we haven't got anything better to do than sit here and talk about toys on a Sunday night, really, have we? So there we go. Next week, episode 146, which edges us ever so closer to the big 150, episode 150, which we're hoping to do something special for. Yeah, watch this space and we'll see if we announce something. Got anything massive going on this week? Anything coming? Anything going? Anything
No, I've got like I say, I've got my Stumble Guys stuff to open, but I've not got anything major on my watch list at the moment. It's a bit quiet at the minute on the action figure front.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and try to see Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, that's on my list this week. I think I'm gonna go Wednesday, Thursday, see Kong.
I did see somebody say in the comments earlier, has anyone seen it yet?
Yeah, it was
no. Shelley, no, we haven't yet, but we will.
Yeah, Frankie in the groups, Frankie French, she was commenting that a lot of films recently are getting critics going like crap, saying how crap the films are, and then on Rotten Tomatoes, on the viewership, the viewers' comments and stuff are all golden. So I mean, this was the same, like Godzilla versus Kong. A lot of people are saying it's a lot of the critics were saying that it's crap and it's just a crappy monster movie, but all the audience so far have enjoyed it that I've seen. And that was the same with Ghostbusters. It got panned, didn't it, by critics saying it were no good, but everyone's enjoyed it that I know.
Yeah, great. Likewise. But yeah, we'll see what's going on. Cool. Right, that's about it. Episode 145. Of course, if you are watching live, thank you very much for joining in with the comments. We do appreciate you. There's been a lot to talk about this week, so we have tried to get through it all as quick as we can. If you're watching us on catch up, Sorrell, what is it they need to put in the comments?
#CatchUpCrew.
#CatchUpCrew. Thank you very much. Come back next week, Sunday, same time, same place. Doesn't matter where you're watching, as long as you're watching us. Episode 146 next week. Thank you very much for watching. We will catch you next week. Till then, keep it geek.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and of course subscribe. Tune in next week for another live show. Until then, keep it geek. Stay up to date at www.geekweekinreview.co.uk.